Did you know that enemies do not reset on day 2? The world has the same enemies for both days, other than special events, so whoever you've killed stays dead. But more importantly, if you've damaged some enemies, that damage stays on day 2. If you spent some time on a difficult boss and are worried about running away in case you lose that progress, then don't worry. They will still have that damage done to them when you return the next day. And you can use this to your advantage. For example, I'm sure you all know by now that Everjail bosses have their health scaled according to your level. If you fight them early, they might lose as much as half of their health, whereas on day 2, they'll most likely have their full HP. So I recommend you open them, even if they're far too difficult early on day 1. I'm looking at you, Godskin Duo, because you can run away, return on day 2, and they will still only have half their health. Not to mention the better loot drops on day 2, if you choose runes. Once you're familiar with Elden Ring Nightreign's map, mechanics, and game loop, you might think that's all there is, but trust me, there is still so much to learn, and I hope this video helps you on your adventures. Sometimes though, things just go badly, and you die before your teammates can res you. If this happens, there's a chance your body will appear in other people's worlds as a red shade that, when interacted with, drops the gear you died with. If you had some amazing weapons, this can be game-changing for them. But have you noticed all the items of the dead Nightfarer have a new quality beneath them? The character's grief. This is secretly the best part of finding dead Nightfarers. Essentially, the grief quality boosts your stats. Whatever is that dead Nightfarer's best 2 stats are improved. So if the item has Duchess's grief, then picking it up will boost your dexterity and intelligence. Recluse's grief improves your intelligence and faith. You get the picture. And more than that, they all stack. So you can use multiple grief boosted gear, and if they all suit your build, the benefit can be absolutely huge. So dying isn't all bad. In fact, there's even a way to see if your death helped someone. If you've explored the Round Table Hold, then I'm sure you found this grassy room filled with glowing signs. If you interact with them, you can see the loadout other players had when they successfully defeated a Night Lord. Which means, if they picked up an item from your dead Nightfarer, you can actually see your name on it, and know that you made a difference for their run. It's possible to spot this from a distance too. Any signs which used your gear will glow more strongly. I recommend having a check periodically, even if it doesn't interest you, because if you interact with one that had your gear, it will reward you with 1,000 merc to spend on skins, relics, you name it. Now, let's quickfire some small tricks that are easy to miss but have big impact. You can use items on the ground if you hold the pick up button and then press the use button, i.e. triangle or Y plus up on the D-pad. This is especially useful for boluses, which I know I ignored for the longest time. Boluses in Nightreign are far better than in Elden Ring. More than curing you, they give you a bit of health regeneration, but most important is that they give you a permanent resistance buff, up to +9. This is massive, so just eat whatever boluses you find. If your Night Lord is Augur, then make sure to thoroughly loot the sleep ruins to find all the boluses. Same again in the frenzy camps for Libra. Trust me, it makes a big difference. Speaking of Night Lords, I don't want to give much information on them here because they're the best part of the game, and I think learning them isn't something that should be rushed, so skip ahead if you don't want even these small tips. However, for the 4th Night Lord, Augur, I notice a lot of people finding them frustrating because you have to chase them so much and don't get much time to do damage. So to help you better enjoy a fight that I really love, you should know that killing the tentacles or the explosive jellyfish releases some bubbles that return to Augur and do a very decent amount of damage. You should never have to be idle in this fight. Another small tip is for the 3rd Night Lord, Sentient Pest. If you get poisoned, your character is permanently infected by a bug. And to get rid of it, you need your teammates to attack it. Next time you're in that fight, make sure to check your comrades over in case they need your help. Returning to some quick tips, here is a faster way to scale the central castle to fight the boss at the top. This boss is always seriously hard, but definitely worth trying on a good run, and knowing how to scale the place fast helps a lot if you do die. If you happen to go down without a teammate nearby, look around for a site of grace. Though it's a rare use case, you can be revived by them. If one of your teammates goes down, hitting them is effectively the same as hitting enemies. So if you have a relic that restores HP for successive attacks, you can activate that while reviving teammates. For relics that you don't want though, when you're next to the relic table, make sure to scroll to the rightmost tab. You can sell the rubbish relics for extra merc. As Executor, changing stance counts as a parry. I really recommend getting familiar with it, because it helps make their gameplay so much more fluid. And did you know that the symbol of avarice is in the game? Just make the right deal with the scale-bearing merchant event and voila. Perfect fashion souls, finally. Very useful if you get it early too, boosting runes and item drops. Finally is perhaps the most curious thing I've seen in Nightreign so far. I bet most of us have run past it countless times and never found it, but it's always there, in every single map. If you go to the valley in the centre of the map, here, and walk along this cliff face, there's a very well hidden stone door. If you try to open it, it says, "Opens only for those who wield merit," a mystery that almost none of us would ever solve. Because to open this door, you need to find an item that has a crazy drop rate of 0.035%. That's 1 in 2,857. It has a chance to drop from the boxes in Marika's churches, and is called the Cord End. It will glow yellow, so you won't miss it. With this, you can open the stone door, which leads into a tunnel. There, you'll find 3 sacrificial twigs, talismans that ensure you don't lose a level or your runes on death one single time. A talisman for each of your team, since you can't hold multiple. Now, don't get me wrong, that's a good reward, but for something so mysterious and rare, it seems strange to give an item that is more useful for beginners than veterans. What do you think? Perhaps there's something else we haven't yet discovered. If you made it this far, consider supporting the channel and get early access to upcoming releases, feature your own theories on the channel, or even get access to new Lore Before Bed videos ad-free for less than $1. Your support makes content like this possible, so thank you.